everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week we've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Claire.
Hi.
Welcome, Claire. Welcome back.
I'm very welcomed. Thank you.
Way to kick Jimmy out this week and take his seat.
I do feel like I'm sitting in the Jimmy throne. I'm ready.
Feels like Jimmy.
Jimmy does have like the cushiest, nicest seat in like the podcast room.
Never
Both me and you
noticed.
just have office chairs that we sit in.
It's actually kind of hard because it's very loungy, and with the microphone, like it's very weird. But I have to say, I don't mind the cush, and the pillow is a good accent. So I do have the accent pillow.
Yeah, the pillow made its way into the room because apparently there was too many pillows in the living room or something.
Well, good call. I get to have a pillow now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Pete.
Pete's the cat. Pete's the cat. For... and also, for people that don't know what's going on, Joe, how does this podcast work?
We take a TV show and only watch the first episode and only the last episode. Nothing in between. Often it's shows we've never seen or shows we've seen a little bit of, but don't remember the beginning and end. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So if you don't like that, you get the hell out of here, listeners.
You may have read a BuzzFeed article about just watching the beginning and end of a TV show.
Yeah, it's because BuzzFeed was heavy on listening to our podcast and said we could do that.
Yeah, we've been doing this since like 2016 or so. So we've literally done this hundreds of times. Or 100 times.
over 100 times. I mean, 27's like a habit, right? So we're experts.
27 times is a habit?
Isn't it if you do something 27 times in like a days in a row, it kind of becomes a habit?
Oh,
that's how you make or break a habit. I think it's 27.
Sure. You can pick whatever number you need, but
8.
yes, if you consecutively do something over a period of time,
I read,
it helps to build a habit.
This will come out right
I'm sure
after.
there's some data. Maybe it is like there's a specific number, but
I think I mean, just do it a lot or stop doing it and the habit will form. I read that somebody said like they call it quitter's day or something like that. It's January 19th is quitter's day, and that's where everyone, when they make their New Year's resolutions, that's basically when people start falling off.
It's like, never mind.
That's when gym goers finally get the sweet release of all those other people being there, you know? And I was like, the 19th? I thought that was too far into the month, to be honest. I was like, that's a committed quitter, though.
I feel like it's around the 19th that I like figure something out that I want to do for the rest of the year. Like it's by that point that I'm like, oh, maybe I'll like try to do this thing. Mm-hmm. I'm a late resolutioner.
Fair. Fair. Well, I ain't quitting. January 19th
Don't do
can come
it.
and go. I'm not quitting.
Don't quit.
I don't really have resolution.
You can do hard things.
Yes, sure can.
Yeah, you can.
Speaking of hard things, we're going to watch a TV show called Mr. Robot today.
Senor Robot, as they call it in France.
Mr. Roboto. That's what they call that in Canada. This bad boy went 4 seasons, 45 episodes. What was it on USA?
USA. Very funny.
Weird.
Characters welcome? Is that what USA is?
I have no idea what they're.
I can't name another show that's on USA.
It's like Suits or something.
Oh, what about that? No, is that USA?
Silk Stockings.
That's an old show.
I think Royal Pains is in that same wheelhouse, so maybe that's on there.
Is NXT on USA?
Oh.
Is it? It's got to be, right?
I think so.
If Raw is there, it's probably also.
Yeah. There's some
WWE
so
there's
action.
a lot of wrestling on USA.
wrestling on
That's
USA.
why you guys know what's on USA.
Yeah.
And you know, okay. That makes more sense.
But yeah, Mr. Robot was like kind of their big hit, both critically and people watching it, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen at least some of the first season, and I don't know what. According to the Amazon that we looked to make sure it was streaming.
Gotcha.
I've seen a smattering of some of the episodes.
For some reason, I thought you like hadn't seen any of this.
I've seen some of it. I mean, I know it's Rami Malek. And,
you know it's not actually about a robot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I don't really know what it's about. Because it's weird.
Does anyone know what it's about?
Like, what is this all about?
I
feel like I don't know.
Like me and Claire have seen like the first 2 seasons,
I think I watched the first season and
And
then
then didn't finish the second?
I don't think I finished the second. I definitely fell off. It wasn't as
Yeah, I think I've seen all of the second season and then like maybe the first episode of the third season. But I just kind of fell off. After
I think it's because the second season didn't like. I really remember liking the first season, and then the second season didn't pull me in at all. And I was
Yeah.
just so annoyed by their choices that I didn't continue. And then I didn't realize it went on so much longer than that. Like
Yeah.
I thought it only was the 2 seasons.
Yeah, it was the classic case of like they make season 1, this is their only shot, so they like throw everything in, and then once it becomes a big hit, then in season 2 they just like pump the brakes a whole lot. Like, yo, we got to make this last.
Oh God. Oh God. We got a TV show on our hands.
Yeah.
We got that. Okay. 'Cause what I gathered, at least what I feel like it made some sort of U-turn, or maybe they changed some stuff up if they threw everything they had in season 1. But it was like the main character, Mr. Robot, Rami Malek,
Academy Award winner Rami
Ooh,
Malek.
Good for him. Did he win it for the Queen movie?
Yep.
Cool.
For lip syncing to Freddie Mercury.
That movie was
Well, that was the clip they kept showing.
that movie was like just okay, except I got to listen to Queen music the whole time,
Yeah,
so I like
it's a
liked
good
it.
hang.
But he's like a smart computer man, and he is kind of involved either because he wants to be or is kind of like has to be involved in some sort of like counter government hacking stuff. But it's like weird and not like spy espionage, but
Yeah, more just hacker stuff.
but like mysterious.
Yeah.
That's what I think this show is about. Am I accurate?
Yeah.
At least in season 1, maybe?
It's hackery, anarchy, anti-government,
like
burn it down kind of stuff.
makes you feel like anonymous.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Okay.
They got those masks too.
Man, I'm just sitting here trying to remember it, and it's like I got bits and pieces.
I don't exactly.
And I don't really know. There's a lot of stuff going on. And there's like the dad who comes in,
Yeah.
and he's like a famous guy.
Christian Slater.
Yeah, like an 80s guy, right? So that was like a big deal that he was in it, maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of like he probably got an and Christian Slater in the credits.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the people in it. Rami Malek, and I don't really know the other people. Portia Doubleday, Carly Chalkin,
Yeah, something like that.
but BD Wong's in this, so I'm in.
What's he from?
Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
He's the scientist in Jurassic Park.
Then this is gonna be great.
Every time BD Wong's in the show, I'm happy about it.
So do you like know what's in the first episode?
I feel like I don't remember, but I remember just like I'm excited to watch it again because I feel like it was dope. When I watched this first season, like it was just like on Amazon or streaming somewhere, and I just like binged the first season and then just like started it over again because I was just like, that
Oh,
was cool,
wow.
and watch that again.
So you're all about this right now.
Yeah.
I was
But it's
really
been a while.
I was really sick when this was going on. Like this was when I was like sick. So I feel like I was on a lot of pain meds and I don't remember much. But I like weird snippets of amusement parks
Yeah.
and I don't really know why. So cool.
First episode is just 45 minutes of him
The
riding a
Ferris go
roller
round.
coaster, hacking from the top of the Ferris wheel.
I'm gonna make this faster.
Got him. I'm the only one that can have fun. He shuts down the rest of the park. Lights go out. It's a Unix system. He knows how to use it.
It's Jurassic Park.
No, since BD Wong. We're gonna.
Yeah,
There's gonna be
yeah.
some Jurassic Park references, guys. Hold on to your butts.
Ooh, I will.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen in the first episode.
Yeah, let's get a good guess. I want a Josh guess.
Oh shit. Okay.
Bring it up.
Rami Malek breaks his computer and he goes into a computer store, like a crappy like neighborhood computer fixer store.
What's the store called?
Mr. Robot.
Cool.
And he gets like a used computer essentially to fix, but on it is like dark web shit he's not supposed to know
Oh,
about.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Not like weird pedophile sexy stuff,
Oh.
like that kind of gross stuff. but like government conspiracy or like something like the anonymous type group in this show, like had like the guy like got rid of it but forgot to erase it.
Sure.
And then he gets involved in something. So that's it. That's what happens. And then there's maybe a will they won't they with some other hacker girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think they will eventually?
I mean, why not? Who doesn't like sex in their show, Joe? Right? Am I right?
Yeah. This is the exact type of show where like if they were to bone, I just wouldn't like it. Because like, can we just stick to the hacking?
Come on. No sex, more hack.
I think I won't understand the hacking side of the show, and then I will only be interested in the relationship part of the show. So I feel like this is the kind of show where you have to have the balance of you can have that like hacky crap, but you also have to have strong relationships between characters because that's the only way you're going to get a bigger audience.
You're saying hacky, and then it made me think of like hacky sack. And then I'm like, and I thought of Freddie Prinze Jr. as well. For that, I know exactly where you went.
Yeah, right.
Was that
DJ?
That movie has aged terribly.
What movie
She's
was
All
that?
That?
She's All That.
Yeah.
She's from here.
Rachel A. Cook.
Yeah, she's from Minnesota. She went to South High School with one of my coworkers. They were tight. They were in each other's weddings.
And she's gonna officiate our wedding.
No.
That would be really cool.
We should at least ask.
Well, maybe we'll send her an invite.
You should ask. If Rachel A. Cook,
I'll ask my coworker to be like, can you bring her as your +1? Like, just have her fly in from Cali.
That
it's
would
great.
be amazing.
I think she went to Cali for spring break to hang with her last year. So, I don't know. They're tight still. Weird.
oh man, we hanging out with Rachel A. Cook this year. All right. Well, before we start planning your wedding even more and inviting all these other people, why don't we watch the first episode
Let's do it.
of Mr. Robot and see how correct I am? I'm probably spot on.
What's it called? Is it like boot up or something? Or
Minimum valuable product. No, what is it? I don't know.
The first season all has like computery titles.
oh yeah, it's like
They're like computer code. I don't know what that
one
means.
dot.
It's like ep1 _ hellofriend.mov.
Oh, I should have guessed it was gonna be.
We gotta go. I'm gonna answer this phone call. We'll see you after the first episode of Mr. Robot.
Ms. Robot.
Hello. And we're back. We're done with the first episode of Mr. Robot called eps1.0 _ hellofriend.mov.
We downloaded it from the dark web, and that's just what the episode was called.
Yeah. So there. We did it. I got a write-up. I'm ready. Socially inept Elliot works at cybersecurity company AllSafe. At night, he hacks social media, personal information, and bank records, including those of his coworkers, therapist, and drug dealer. Elliot stops a DDoS attack against AllSafe's biggest client, eCorp. He identifies a file labeled fsociety00.dat and a text file asking him not to destroy malware he finds hidden on eCorp's server. Mr. Robot, the mysterious leader of the hacker group F Society, contacts Elliot on the subway. F Society invites Elliot to join them in starting a digital revolution. They plan to delete all debt records held by eCorp. He's intrigued and eventually agrees. In his first collaborative
You got it.
act with F Society, Elliot provides the FBI with an encrypted file falsely implicating Terry Colby, eCorp's own chief technology officer, as the orchestrator of the attack.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like the plan was this hacker group was to do this hack and then get contact with Elliot, who's on the inside, and then get him to plant this fake info implicating was the CTO of Evil Corp with the attack. So the whole attack wasn't just to just bring down their servers, it's to bring down the CTO.
Step one.
And yeah, that's step one to just like eliminating everybody's debt.
Yeah, so they're going to eliminate their grand goal then is to eliminate the debt of everybody that like eCorp holds.
Because eCorp is essentially like
Sally Mae.
Yeah, it's just every giant bank and or corporation that exists rolled into one.
Yeah, it's like the Walmart, the Apple, the Sally Mae, the whatever.
Wells Fargo,
Yeah.
etc.
It's everything.
Uh-huh.
Aldi's.
So yeah, if your bank
Ooh,
just
yum.
all
I
of a
love a
sudden,
good Aldi's deal.
if your bank just all of a sudden had no more information on your debt, then they can't claim it. Is the idea?
Sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it?
Can we make that happen?
Yeah, I'm in. Every like millennial that like just got out of college is like, I love this show.
I gotta learn about computers.
Oh man, I majored in music. Why did I not learn how to use a computer? Yeah. I mean, Elliot is the main character.
Mm-hmm.
He's socially inept is one way of saying.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely showing that he has some like social skills issues. Like he clarifies that and has anxiety, doesn't like be touched, doesn't make eye contact. But then they also pull in the therapist to talk about his anxiety and his delusions versus reality and all of his thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that it's filmed where you're getting to hear what he's thinking and you get to kind of like get that inside from his perspective.
There's a narration from Elliot as if he's talking to an imaginary friend, but it's us, the audience.
Yeah, so I like that. I think that really pulls you into the episode. And then I also thought it was cool that they brought in like clips of real life things. So it's sort of like what he would be thinking or in his own mind, but it's things that are happening in the world. And it, you know, when was this made? Like 5 years ago?
2015.
2015. So yeah, like it was things that they flashed up and I'm like, oh yeah, that was like really big then. Like who was the football player that they brought up?
Tom Brady.
And yeah, we were like, what scam was he a part of?
Because he said like all our heroes are fake, and it showed who's the Lance Armstrong, and then Bill Cosby, and then Tom Brady.
And it was like one of them like drugged up and won like a ton of bike races.
Uh-huh.
One of them is a horrible person, and one of them might have thrown some deflated footballs around.
Might have bended some rules here and there.
It's still, everything's a scam, guys.
They would have probably won that game anyway. Let's be honest.
I don't watch football that much. I don't know. Sure.
So it's just. I mean, quite a group to be around when it's like Bill Cosby. He's a fucking monster. Also, you know who else is terrible? Tom Brady. And it's like, what?
It's quite the group to be put in.
That's why I didn't even like think about it when they showed it, because I was like, what did he didn't do anything nearly as bad as that.
It's funny though.
It is. It is funny. No, I like how they handle Elliot. I mean, I think we get who he is, and it helps us bring us to him.
Uh-huh.
Especially with his narration and like, yeah, he's super smart and really capable, but like he's got some crippling things that are like holding him back.
Uh-huh. But
may like push him forward, probably going forward.
And he's got, you know, some sort of sense of morality.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he's a hacker, so that's not necessarily like when you're prying into people's personal lives, that's not right per se.
It kind of reminds me of a Dexter. Like there's a code, there's a moral, I'm only gonna do it to the pedophile that runs whatever.
He has a code.
I thought
Ron's coffee shop guy, and
I thought Dexter at one specific point actually in this episode was when he like burned the thing onto the CD after he had like told that dude that was married who was like dating his therapist,
Krista.
But he was like, he's married and he was dating like a ton of other people and stuff. And then he like put it on a disc and put it in a CD, but like marked it Pink Floyd. And he's just got like pages and pages of that. And I'm like, it's probably so you can go back to it if you need to, but it's also like kind of like a trophy.
Yeah.
Like Dexter's blood vials.
Yeah. It's a way for him to be like, okay, I don't need this information, so I'm deleting it, but he's also just keeping it as like a trophy.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So I think that the writers of this are like, especially in this episode, it's really well written. It keeps you engaged and it also gives you some information, but it's not all of it, so you're still left guessing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a really long episode and there's a lot going on, but I mean, but I still think that it kept the viewer interested.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys felt this. I mean, I feel like I felt it less because I'd seen this pilot a few times, but there's some definite like intentional disorientation and like confusion about just the things that you're hearing and seeing because Elliot is not reliable as a narrator. Like the most obvious thing is every time they mention E Corp, it's said Evil Corp. And I remember the first time I watched the show thinking like, is the company actually called Evil Corp? Everybody's saying Evil Corp.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I noticed that the first go around when I saw a couple episodes in season 1 before, and I was like, that can't be true.
Yeah, they couldn't just name it that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was also noticing that you never see, well, at least I was trying to watch to see if when they said E Corp, you saw the actor and their mouth move. So like I feel like it, and maybe I'm wrong. I wasn't paying super close attention to it the whole time, but whenever someone said Evil Corp, it wasn't ever focused on them.
Sure.
So
No.
I thought it was interesting.
There's definitely things that when I was watching it, I was like, I don't trust everything that they're showing and telling about
is
Elliot.
This really happening, or is
like,
this in his head?
I mean, even he like multiple times in this episode like questioned whether or not the things that he just did in front of us were real.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that just him being like having some issues, and are we being messed with as well? One thing that I paid attention to, or I tried to after a little bit, was every time Christian Slater was on, I was trying to pay attention to whether or not people were actually interacting with Christian Slater.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just like, he keeps just like, because we just kept seeing him, and I think the very first time we saw him was near the beginning of the episode when he was riding the train,
right?
And like, there was people next to him, and he was like on that thing, but he was like kind of yelling across like the train to Elliot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one else seems to like care.
Yeah.
That his dude's just yelling. And I mean, New York, it's a New York subway train, so everyone just ignores everybody,
exactly.
you know, and no one wants to
And
deal with it.
apparently, if you're Josh, you called a train, which is super cute.
Train?
It's a train.
I know,
Subway?
but you just like wouldn't be like, I talked to him across the train. Like that's just not what you would say.
The subway car? Is that what I should
You
say?
just be like, I don't know. It's just interesting the way you say it. So keep talking.
You
I
say
like
the
it.
sentence.
No, now I feel like super self-conscious about it. But I'll like phone some friends or text some people and make sure I'm right.
Speaking of a super self-conscious woman, Angela is one of Elliot's friends who also works with him at Allsafe. He definitely is jonesing for her attention. He would love to hug and kiss her.
I don't know if I get that vibe.
What? Are you see what? Come on.
Explain.
I mean, okay. I feel like he could go either way, but he also just is very protective of her. Like they're childhood friends. He's very protective. And I don't necessarily feel like that seemed like his super motive in this.
I don't think it was his driving factor, but like I mean,
they definitely show some tension between the characters, but I went more for like him being a protector and like kind of having her back, and like that's why he works there. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it's my read of it, because there's definitely a scene where he's like looking at photos of her and her boyfriend, and he's saying like, I wish I was normal. I wish I was that dude.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's not quite as simple as like he's in love with her so much as just like she's his oldest friend, and this is the most normal relationship he's ever had. So he's just like, he's mistaking that for like, oh, I think I love her, but it's really just like she's just the nicest person to him, and like the most real relationship that he has. And so he just wants to like follow that and chase that.
I mean, I could see him like obtaining, if he ever obtained like a relationship, like a more than friends relationship with her, that he would be like, oh, is this like, wait, I'm confused kind of thing. But like, I feel like that's what he like thinks he wants.
Right. And there's part of me that thinks that like Angela kind of understands that about him, that like it might feel like he's like super into her, but
didn't you guys also get the vibes from her to him?
No, I think from her to him is like what you're talking about, where she feels protective of him, and like they're like longtime friends.
See, and I saw like the opposite, where she's like lingering too long. But again, we have the narrator being Elliot, so we don't know what we're actually seeing. But I didn't necessarily see that. I saw more of like the moments where it's like that long, like, oh, I came over with a movie, and then you see that there's a person in his bed or whatever, and she's disappointed. I saw like the notes where she was trying to show that affection towards him.
I mean, in that scene when they both went into his apartment and then his naked drug dealer was there, like they both were a little bit like that. I mean, he was like, God, no, like you can't see he didn't want her to like see that. And I guess, I mean, if you're just friends and you think you're just friends, you're not like, you're like embarrassed, but he was like almost violently mad.
Yeah. Like as if she like ruined something.
Yeah. Like she ruined an opportunity by being there for him.
See, I don't even know that. I think it's also like the fact that he doesn't want her to know about that side of what he does in life. Like that's part, like the drug use and the whatever is the thing that he like kind of hides from her. And
oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's not telling her he's on morphine, you know?
Yeah, but to her, he has to click certain boxes too. And so like she wouldn't want someone to see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keeping that like, private life private.
I feel like she's like the only normal, quote unquote, normal person that like sees and understands him. And so he feels like if I were dating her, then I would just be normal too.
Okay.
And that's his best chance at being normal.
Mm-hmm. I think he'll do what he needs to do to at least save face with her pretty much over most things. Like even if the relationship stays exactly how it is. Like to me, it seems like he'll do whatever it takes to make her just think he's at least like, okay, normal Elliot or as normal, you know, or whatever. He won't ever try to let her in if he doesn't have to.
Sure.
To the dark side.
Can we go back a step to Mr. Robot?
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say like other person, Mr. Robot.
You were saying that you're like keeping an eye on him because you're like, like, are you suspecting that like he's not real?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I like even from like
I'm getting a Fight Club vibe.
Yeah, from like when I first saw the pilot and like just that first scene where he's yelling on the train, I'm just like, oh, is this a Fight Club thing? Like, are we supposed to like?
Yeah.
You really need to go watch Fight Club because I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, no, like in Fight Club, Edward Norton's character and Tyler Durden, they talk to each other all the time and they interact around other people too a lot. Or if you've never seen the movie, spoilers for Fight Club. Sorry, people.
Hey man, I'm the only one.
But they interact throughout the entire movie, and until near the end, you don't realize that they're the same like it's just a projection of Edward Norton's character.
Right. Yeah.
Tyler Durden is a made-up person.
Yeah.
Well, it's him. So yeah. You know.
So I don't think it like gives away too much to say that you're right. Like in that. Like when I watched this first season, they reveal it at the end of the first season that, Mr. Robot's just part of Elliot's imagination. And I feel like I remember when I watched that, or like when I watched the first season, I was just like...
Leads me to my second prediction. Elliot and Mr. Robot are the same person.
Yeah.
You win.
1 point. I'm keeping it. You said it.
Keep it, yeah.
Well, they got to show that in the final episode for that to actually get you the point.
But like from the beginning, I was just like, okay, when are they going to reveal this? And then finally at the end of the first season, they like revealed it. And I was just like, okay, great. And it feels like the show like kind of thought that people would have figured it out anyway too, so that they didn't treat it like a big deal. I was either that or I was like, maybe he's like his dad and for some reason he doesn't like get it. I don't know why that would be a thing, but they showed like a scene of like Elliot and his mom, sort of like of Elliot remembering his mom being mean. Yeah. So I was like, maybe his dad isn't around, and that's his dad. Yeah. So that's kind of like the actual reveal is that, that's his dad.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they reveal like, oh, he's imaginary, and you're like, great, I knew that. And they're like, oh, but wait, he's his dad. And you're like, oh, interesting.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah. But the other part of it is that like, once you realize that it's all in his head, then you realize that he was part of this plan from the beginning, because Mr. Robot runs F Society, right?
Right.
So Elliot's running the whole thing.
He was part of Project I don't remember what it's called in the Fight Club. Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem.
Get Allstate. And then the fourth person I think that's probably worth note is Darlene, who I know she didn't do much in this first episode besides call Elliot a dickhead. but I know she's like in the show
Yeah.
a lot. And so she's a hacker in what we know of her right now is she's a hacker in F Society.
Sure.
So I don't know if they like smooch or something or whatever. But that's another person that we met.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Reading through my notes, I just figured out what F Society stands for.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I wrote down.
Enlighten me.
I wrote down one of the quotes that Elliot says is "fuck society," and I'm like, "Oh, F Society."
Yeah, they drop a
Fuck
little.
society.
They're dropping little breadcrumbs for you.
I
Claire.
am not, you guys.
It's a reveal in episode 7
I
what
don't-
F Society stands for. They spell it out.
I don't.
Well,
I-
first they only give you 3 asterisks after the F, and Claire's still going, I can't solve this puzzle.
Whatever. I already figured it out.
Can't do it. That's his dad. That's his brother. That's him. What's happening?
Fart Society? This is gross.
You Spun's only got 3 letters. Oh boy. Overall, I think this is a really fun, good pilot though. Like, this makes me really want to watch this show.
It's very intriguing at the least.
I don't know if fun would be the word I would use to describe it, but I would say intriguing's great. It really does suck you in and brings you a part of the world.
There's parts of it that are fun, and then there's parts of it that are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But all of that makes me want to watch it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
all of that tied together is, you're like, okay, cue up the next episode then.
Yeah. So, speaking of the next episode, the last one. Before we do that, though, let's do predictions.
All right.
I'll start since
You got
I
a
already
point
got a
already.
point. Well, so number 1 for last episode, I think Elliot shoots someone.
Okay.
Oh, guns. I
Yeah.
hope not.
My second one was Elliot and Mr. Robot are the same person.
Yeah.
1 point. I think at the end of this, Angela hates Elliot.
Oh.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah. I think that's the very opposite of what he wants. And then 4, I think Darlene has gone rogue and Elliot needs to stop her.
So
Yeah.
she's the bad guy?
Like, that's kind of, I mean, maybe not the bad guy, but like maybe what their plan is the whole time is just gone too far and Elliot sees that it's gone too far.
Yeah.
And now he thinks he has to like turn it around, but Darlene probably still wants to keep going.
Sure.
She seems like she's pretty diehard for Fart Society. So, so those are my 4.
I've got Elliot has a beard. I think he's
I don't
Got a
know
full-on
if
beard
can Rami Malek like grow a beard. He's so baby smooth.
hacky
Dude, he
hacker
could
beard.
totally grow a beard.
I want to see that man in a beard.
I have Angela cries.
Probably.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
She seems like a crier.
I think the episode ends with Elliot going to China.
Okay.
He's kind of like, I've hacked the United States. Now I'm gonna go hack China.
Hack the planet.
And then I have we see a robot, actual robot. Could be a Roomba.
Like a Boston
Could be a
Scientific.
Roomba.
Could be a. I'm gonna draw the line. It's got to be a little more than a Roomba, Joe.
I'll say, hey man, he said robot. I've got that there's a Facebook reference, and I want the Facebook to be updated with like what Facebook looked like, and because the first episode it's like what Facebook looked like in 2015. I want it to be like 2019 Facebook.
I'm not 100% sure. I think I know it. I haven't looked at Facebook in
I
a long
don't know
time.
either, but so Joe's the only one that
We
can
got to
tell
open
us.
Facebook while we watch it.
No.
I put Angela's gonna be running a corporation, and her hair is short. But like I decided that that's
She's
not
gonna
a very
be-
good prediction.
Running like G Corp, Goblin Corp.
I
or something
thought
like
at
that.
first of E Corp, but then I don't know. I just decided to go neutral and just say a corporation. And
Okay.
then Elliot is a teacher, but like that could be really broad.
I think
But
it's
I
like
think
Frank
Elliot is a-
Abagnale and like Catch Me If You Can. He like was bad for a long time, and
Yeah.
he turns and like teaches people how to
Or
do
maybe
it.
he teaches people to be bad. I don't know. Elliot's a teacher. And then they're going to eat popcorn.
Okay.
Okay.
There was popcorn in this first episode.
Yeah, no, bring it back.
I just assumed you thought that because there's popcorn on the table in front of you while we were watching the show.
There was that too.
Yeah. A lot of popcorn in your life right now, Claire.
Yep. Love it.
All right. So we're going to watch the last episode of this show.
Cool. What's
Which
the title?
one?
The last one.
The Last.
So, yeah. So it's weird. Claire needs us to talk about it right now, so we'll talk about it right now. The last season has 2 episodes. So they're even like called different things. It's called like I think it's called Hello Elliot or Goodbye Elliot or something like that. Maybe Goodbye Friend. Hello I don't know. Something Elliot.
They're both. Yeah.
There was 2 episodes in the last night. There's a part 1 and a part 2, but they actually have real names. So they're it's a weird thing for our podcast, because normally if it's a 2-part episode, it's part 1 and part 2, we'd watch the whole thing. But then this got like retroactively named 2 different episodes.
Sure.
So we're just gonna watch the last episode.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Our worst case scenarios, we'll read a little wiki on the first part, but we got an hour in front of us. Let's get it done.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll see you after that. We'll watch the last episode. All right, ready? You ready?
That was awesome.
All right. And we're back. We're done with the last episode of Mr. Robot. We finished it. It's over.
Woo!
Monsieur Robot, as they say in Spain.
Ah, yes. The robot, as they say in Italy. Last episode is called Hello Elliot, and this is what we have to say about it. First little, what's it called? A little write-up. Little summary. Elliot hides the alternate Elliot's body in a storage container, intent on taking the alternate Elliot's place and marrying Angela. A police officer, Dominique, they named her. So was she in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Joe knows. Attempts to arrest Elliot after she discovers the alternate Elliot's body. Elliot escapes to Coney Island, where he discovers that there was no wedding. Mr. Robot explains to Elliot that the world they are in is not... The world they are in is not the parallel world White Rose spoke of, but rather an illusion created by Elliot during a morphine withdrawal, with the intention of keeping the real Elliot trapped. Bewildered and confused, Elliot wakes up in Krista's office. Krista, who is a manifestation of Elliot's mind at this point, explains that the Elliot we have known since the beginning of the series is not the real Elliot, but a persona called the Mastermind, that the real Elliot had created to deal with his rage and anger at the world. However, the persona decided to take over the trapped Elliot in the utopian world, getting rid of Darlene. Okay, got it. Who is the real Elliot's strongest connection to reality? And Krista explains that the Mastermind must give control back to the real Elliot, but he refuses as the world collapses. The Mastermind wakes up in the hospital, where Darlene reveals that White Rose is dead, her machine is destroyed, and she knew that the Mastermind had taken over. Accepting his identity, the Mastermind returns to Elliot's mind with the rest of his other personas, and the real Elliot wakes up in the hospital and is greeted by Darlene.
Yes.
So, what I just said, and read terribly, is that this whole show was the Mastermind persona being walking around in the real world, and that was the manifestation of his anger and hatred of the world. And then at the end, and Darlene was his connection to the world, so he got rid of her.
Right.
And then in the end, he relinquished. That's why he sat down in the movie theater.
Right. So this whole episode is essentially just like, it's not very plot heavy. It's just an examination of the Elliot character. And like the big reveal is that even though we know like Elliot has multiple personalities and like he invented this Mr. Robot guy, the big reveal is that the Elliot that we've been watching as the viewer is itself a personality and is still not the real Elliot.
We've never met the real Elliot.
We've never met the real Elliot. He's a guy that left.
Yeah.
Or at least was taken over.
All the things that happened in the show were things that happened in the actual world.
Right. But and Darlene makes that clear. She's like, no, all of this really happened.
Yeah. So it makes the show matter because the things really happened. It's just that we kind of got played a little bit in the end, in a way.
It explains a couple things because there's, at least from the first 2 seasons, I'd seen some things where, like Elliot, like his memory fails him, where like he doesn't remember things from his past, and like you just kind of read it as he's blocking those things out. But with this new ending, it's more like that this mastermind character that he created just doesn't know about the things from Elliot's past because he was essentially born yesterday.
That makes okay. Got it.
Like there's like one of the things from season 1 is like the reveal that Darlene is his sister.
Yeah.
And so like Elliot doesn't know that either. So that explains like why he didn't know that, because like he didn't grow up with Darlene. He just appeared one day, right? He's just an angry hacker.
Right.
I think it's interesting though the way that they would then perceive a person who has dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities, and the way that he can like interact with the personalities in the same setting. I think that might be different than like how it would, but I think it's a interesting way to creatively put that into art. And like I thought that this whole episode, while some of the underlying pieces of it were confusing, but visually and like sonically, I was really impressed with the way that they designed the episode. Did that bug you?
It kind of felt like The Matrix. Didn't feel like The Matrix to anyone
I was
else?
wondering where the keymaker was.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of like big ideas and like code words and visually stunning.
A lot of hallways and doors and
Well, even when like he was on the beach at his fake wedding and he was like running after her, it sounded like they were running through hallways and stuff, like maybe at the hospital or I don't know, where real Elliot or where the body, the physical body was, I guess.
Yeah, where they start us off like he's on his way to his beach wedding with Angela, I think. And I feel like there's some part in season 1 where he's like daydreaming of an alternate universe where he's like in a relationship with Angela. So I feel like we've been there before.
Okay.
I don't know. But it was definitely like it had the feel of, we talked about this had like a 2-parter. Yeah. Or was that not a 2-parter, but aired on the same night?
Yeah.
Where I get the impression that a lot of plot probably happened in the second to last episode. And then this one was like tying up the character stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to
skim it.
He wakes up after a large explosion in the Washington Township. So they were talking about like a near meltdown, something that was on the news. So that had happened in the episode before the last episode. And he hacks stuff. He says he goes to the alternate Elliot's apartment, so it seems like he's interacting with 2 Elliots in that other one. Okay. He must kill one.
So maybe for a while we had 2 Elliots, and we were supposed to think that one of them was real, but the other one wasn't.
But they're all kind of real, and they're all kind of not real.
If you were watching the show as a regular, I mean, Joe, you kind of did. Do you think this ending would tie up all your loose ends and make you feel like a happy camper, like I'm glad I sat through 4 seasons of this? Or would this be like, well, duh, I'm frustrated by this? I don't know.
I think it depends on what wrapped up before, because it seems like all of the plot like wrapped the fuck up like in the episode before, because if things blew up and a lot of characters are dead, that's a pretty definitive ending. And then it's just this last thing about what's going on with Elliot.
This is almost like they did all of Lost, and then they spent 1 episode going like, "This is what happened, though."
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It felt a little bit like that. They had a lot of clips, but it wasn't like flashbacky. Well, I don't know. How did you feel about the flashback level?
No, this was like, I mean, they weren't like, I mean, a flashback that's annoying is like, remember when we did this? And it goes and plays like 2 minutes of a thing. But these were like quick things. And this had to, I mean, those were trying to explain and help go like, oh, you're like, see this in a quick flash. Like that wasn't like, that's not real. And like this was real, but it wasn't the real Elliot. And so like this all worked in the favor of what this episode was trying to do, as opposed to just saying like, let's just remember the fun we had over the last 4 seasons, which is what typical, like, you know, flashback episodes do.
It's almost like they had this episode planned the whole time. Like, this is what our final episode's going to be like, just to, like, explain this character. And then,
yeah, I mean,
like, they could have had anything happen and make this TV show last as long as they'd ever want it to go, as long as they end it like
as long
this.
as they hit this, yeah.
And if this is where you're kind of starting and you already know you're ending, like, I think it's kind of an interesting concept. I'm sure there's other TV shows that are written that way, potentially. I mean,
Saint Elsewhere.
there we go. But
yeah, I mean, so
yeah, I think it depends. It depends of a lot of what happens in between, because I know that in season 2 there was a part where I was annoyed about them like playing the what's real, what's not end of it.
okay, like they're playing it up too much.
Yeah, where
Like,
I was just like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know that this guy is actually real. And then so when they do the reveal at the end of the season that like, oh, this guy was real the whole time, it's like, yeah, I know. And
I got it.
so yeah, I could see, to your point, I could see getting to the end of this and being like, yeah, I know that wasn't the real Elliot. Like, maybe you would know that by then. I don't know, but it could be kind of frustrating if they treat something as a big reveal when it's really not.
I mean, in a way too, it doesn't. I guess for the overall plot of the show, I mean, obviously he like struggles with knowing what's real and stuff. So it's like good to have closure with him. But as far as like the events that kind of happened in the show, like hacking and like fighting against evil corporations, or just like Elliot trying to like be in love and stuff, it almost doesn't matter that like one Elliot wasn't the right one and then the real one comes back.
Sure.
Because also we've never met the real one, so
Yeah,
if
we
we've
don't
never
even know
met
what
the
he's
real
like.
one, I mean, maybe that
Does he
one,
even like computers
maybe,
or what?
maybe he's a dick, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh man.
So I mean, it's kind of like, okay, that was fine, and I'm sure it's somewhat nice. It seems like a nice ending.
Yeah.
Like the real you gets to like live without the other parts of you taking control. But it doesn't.
but they're all still there. They're just sitting on the couch. They're just waiting for the next relapse or
they're just watching.
Yeah.
now. You know, they're literally in a theater watching like what real Elliot's doing is what it
Oh.
seems. That's
Yeah.
what I got from that whole
That's
theater.
why they're like the eye
Oh.
thing at the end, and then you get to the end and it's his eye.
Oh.
Oh, did we just? You got that, Joe?
I get it now.
Oh, nice. But it's like one of those things, like it doesn't matter. But also maybe it just means that they are sitting back now, and maybe
Yeah.
he can like
They're just being a passive audience
he
now.
can just be he doesn't have to worry about talking to an imaginary person.
I think it's more like this mental illness is going to be with you forever, and they could pop in at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's kind of one of those
But
things.
now they're taking a break, and it gets to be him.
Yeah, it kind of made it seem to me that
This
even if
chapter's over.
they're gonna be around more, but they're not gonna be like obtrusive about it, or they're not gonna be like it's not gonna show up. It's like under control. Like he can like real Elliot knows how to live with it now, and like knows they're always there, but like they're in a space where like it's okay. Whereas before they were just coming forward, and he's like, "I thought I got rid of you," like he said, you know.
See, what I want to see is like, you know, the spin-off of this should be kind of what work real Elliot was doing to like get these things to chill out. And maybe it was this explosion or whatever happened, but it seems weird that all of a sudden they're like working together for him to be sitting down and the real Elliot to take over. And
There's part of me that kind of wish that that like the episode was like just like 5 minutes longer, and then they showed just like, and here's what Elliot's up to now, and he's just like working at a Radio Shack or something. And he's
Working
like
at a
super
Radio
friendly.
Shack.
he's like a really happy, peppy guy wearing like
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
rainbow hoodie or
wearing
something.
bright colors.
Yeah.
And
He's like way too friendly. Like, I'm so excited to teach you about computing.
Yeah.
Teaches little kids how to code. It'd be cute.
I kind of wanted angry fake Elliot to just be like, no, fuck you, I'm in charge forever.
He takes the wheel again.
He takes the wheel again.
You just see angry Elliot just stomp out of the
That's
theater.
the Elliot that I assume we've been cheering for this whole time until like maybe this last season or something when we found out that wasn't the real Elliot. But I'm like, well, I've been with the bad one the whole time. Let's go.
I wish that and maybe if we go back and watch more, if they had played into this a little bit more with the other characters, like seemingly disappointed with his choices or like noticing he's acting differently or erratically, like in expressing that to him to like show that they understand that this is a different personality. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe they do that. I haven't clearly. I've only seen the first and last and maybe a couple episodes in the middle, but it'd be an interesting way to kind of carry this through more. And
there's definitely some elements where, especially with Darlene, where she's like, what, how do you not remember that? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, we already like did this or whatever, where she knows that like the Elliot she's talking to was like absent for eras of time.
So Darlene is real, but was Angela?
Yeah.
So Angela was real, but she's like dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man.
That's at least that's the gist I got from just this last episode, is that everything was real.
I feel like I zoned out when Darlene was explaining that, and I also was kind of just assuming like he was still like the fake Elliot, so this could be fake. Mm-hmm. But I think that you're right.
Well,
I should have been
while she was talking to
that.
him and like holding his hand, he like was the fake Elliot.
Yeah,
right. And
so that's why I was like,
this is the fake Elliot.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, this doesn't matter. This is the fake.
It was
Elliot.
it was the real world, but it was the fake Elliot personality that was like in the real world, and then he let go and let real Elliot, who we've never met.
What if like real Elliot has like a French accent or something? That's how she can tell the difference.
Darlene!
Elliot, you're back.
Oui. Let's go hack the planet. Did you bring my baguette?
See? I want to see that show. Give me 5 more minutes.
Season 5's coming back. French Elliot.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Le Elliot.
Rami Malek is a Academy Award winning actor. He could pull it off.
I would love to see him do that. Oh no. It would just ruin the show for everyone that was like, 4 seasons, that was a masterpiece. It's great. Like, guys, we're coming back one more time. Fake Elliot's out of here. French Elliot's in.
It has nothing to do with computers.
He's the real one. Yeah,
he's a chef.
Yeah, French Elliot doesn't.
He's a chef. Okay.
French Elliot doesn't know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
He's like, my sister Darlene showed me how to use Facebook.
He's like taking pictures with a giant iPad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to watch this show. It's not that long. We watched 2 episodes. Only got 43 episodes left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're gonna go back and watch?
I think this has got me hooked. I think it's got me really interested at least.
Okay.
Season 1 is real dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hacking. It's like not very, like it's a show with an imaginary character. Like it's not, for as like cool and fun as it is, it's not really that smart. I mean, it's smart in terms of like it's technical and the character is a little bit interesting, but it like plot wise, it's just like this dude's trying to hack some stuff.
I mean, like we said, like in the first part when we talked about episode 1, it's like I was paying attention the whole time in the first episode and being like, I don't think Christian Slater's a real person.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And I think like even like, I don't know if maybe the show writers and runners were like, they will catch on to this, mm-hmm. or we just don't even like care mm-hmm. to even try to pretend that he's like not a real person. Mm-hmm. It's like, were they trying to make that? Was that a big reveal? Because it just doesn't seem like it was supposed to be.
I don't think so. I mean, to me, it feels like the actual reveal was that's his dad.
Okay.
And not that was an imaginary person, because you're like, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not him.
Christian Slater's imaginary in every movie he's in.
Christian Slater's not a real person
he's just
at all.
His teeth are
he's
great.
An AI.
He's got great teeth?
Yeah.
I don't think I looked at his mouth once.
His teeth, when he's trying to play this character that's like bummy and then he has like great teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm always like, dude, your teeth.
with a silly hat and silly glasses.
But his teeth are perfect and super expensive. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. You can't be poor and have good teeth.
Well,
How
he's
dare you?
a figment of Elliot's imagination, so he imagines his dad with perfect teeth.
There you go. Good teeth.
There you are. There you are. Predictions?
Yeah.
0 points for Claire.
Well, I mean, we all know I got one, but
Yep.
I mean, Elliot didn't shoot anybody. He killed fake Elliot somehow, but we don't even know how. So, well, whatever. Elliot and Mr. Robot are the same person. He's got a lot of people in him,
So
Yeah.
yeah, I give you points for that. Yeah.
and that was confirmed in this episode as well. Claire, just can you
Confirmed.
definitely confirmed. Angela hates Elliot. Maybe dead Angela hates Elliot. Who knows? And Darlene has gone rogue, and Elliot needs to stop her. That didn't happen. But I'm still taking my 1 point for knowing what the first episode I thought clearly stated but didn't confirm. Taking it.
Get it.
I had Elliot has a beard, which he does not.
No.
Angela cries. She was in this for a touch. I don't think she cried. She was upset. But I don't think she cried.
She always looks kind of upset.
She's just got huge eyes.
Yeah, she's got
everyone
big
in this
eyes.
show has
I
huge
literally
eyes.
drew a picture of eyeballs on my page with notes because it's just their eyes are
Yeah.
so big.
All of them.
They must have gone through a lot of Visine because there was a lot of like big, wide open eyes. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I just dropped.
I'm just we're just giving Claire big eyes. But...
For audio listeners, which are the only people doing this, Joe's just kind of trying to keep his eyes up really wide.
It got real dry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they must use a lot of Visine. Big eyes should just be the like thumbnail for like the YouTube video. Or
Just one big eye.
big eyes.
All right, I'm on it. I'll take a note. I'll note it.
Itchy big eyes.
One big eye.
Maybe 2, but you know.
I already wrote 1, so I can't go back.
I had Elliot goes to China. It didn't look like he went anywhere, and then I had that we see a robot, and I do not recall seeing an actual robot.
No, I didn't see one.
I didn't see one. So I had Facebook reference. That didn't happen. Angela runs a corporation. She's dead. Elliot is a teacher. He's not real. We saw popcorn, but no one ate the popcorn.
We saw popcorn?
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
quick flash of just the popcorn machine.
Oh, okay.
And all I wrote down was popcorn. So I don't know. Part of me is like, give me that point. I'm not here that often. But I also understand your rules are your rules.
Well, what was your guess?
Popcorn.
That there was pop. Well, okay,
Period.
you wrote popcorn, but what did you say?
I don't remember. Jeez, that was like an hour and a half ago. Like I'm supposed to remember.
I mean, I remember. What
Roll
I
back
said.
the tape.
All right,
Well-
we'll give you a quotation 1 point at the
Yeah.
moment.
Sure. Cool.
I gotta do that.
Your
quote
prediction
now.
was popcorn?
It
Just popcorn?
popcorn period in cursive.
All right.
basically Claire's writing vague things down and then saying what she means, but not remembering what she says, so she can scheme her way into. You're a fake Claire. Are you the fake Claire?
Hey, you know what? Everything's a scam.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's a scam.
City.
All right. Well,
The show is a scam. The whole thing.
oh, it all happened, Claire. It's just the dude that did it didn't really do it.
Scam.
You got St. Elmo'd. Elsewhere. Who's Elmo?
Who's Elmo? Mr. Robot backwards is St. Elmo. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You know what? I actually like had. I was like, no, it's not.
This is the right away. It's like there's an R in robot and there's no
I
R in it
know.
anywhere.
I just, but it's like he's still. I'm like, Joe wouldn't lie about that. Yeah, he would.
I totally wouldn't never lie.
You just lied.
You just lied.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening, listeners. We appreciate you. If you want to give us show suggestions or tell somebody that they suck or you like them, you can hit us up at FNL Podcast on the Gmail, on the Twitters. Those are things that we have.
Make sure to give us 5 stars, or else next week we're doing not a TV show.
What will we be doing?
We're gonna read a list of our favorite Ninja Turtles. We're all gonna go 1 through 4.
Just in that, it's like a 5-minute episode next week.
No, it's gonna be an hour.
Oh,
1
no.
hour. We're gonna go in depth.
We're really not gonna get Luke back from books at this point.
Well, then he better give us some 5 stars then.
Luke, give us some 5 stars. He's not listening right now. He's listening to books.
He's listening to a book.
I think so.
Also, when we record the podcast that goes on after this podcast, this one won't probably be out yet even.
Wait.
So we'll just have to decide.
Oh, we'll have to, yeah.
Yeah.
By that point, decide if we
If
can still record it.
we
and
trust. We can still record
then let's
our
record
hour-long
the Turtles pod
Okay.
and an episode pod, and then decide which one we release.
Sure. We'll
Delete the other one.
Yeah, we'll record both futures and then release as need be.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, the threat's out there,
Yeah.
ladies and germs.
Put down the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and listen to us.
Oh, that's the book.
Reading some
That's the
C.S.
book.
Lewis. All right, cool. I got the whole box set right there. If you wanted to read the Silver Chair or any of the other ones, but this isn't Book Corner. This is First and Last, and we'll see you next week on another one of those episodes. Goodbye.
Bye.